Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 7 of Boxing Rampage. I am your host, JC, accompanied by Flacco.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and thank you for listening and taking time and being part of the Boxing Rampage podcast.
Yeah, today's episode, be honest, it's the end of the year. It's going to be more of a freestyle type of episode. No particular topics. We just want to, just pretty much just
Touch up on
things and nothing in particular. We just want to talk about boxing, and this is the last episode of 2016. So 2017, hopefully everything is going to be just as good as this year was in boxing. So do you want to start on anything in particular? Anything you want to touch on?
Let's talk about the fight that happened in this past year. Mostly fighter of the year, trainer of the year, etc. and so on. So what are your thoughts?
For sure, and I don't think they'd give it to him, but I think the trainer of the year for me has to be Abel Sanchez. I don't think that he gets the recognition he deserves. I mean, his most notable fighter is Gennady Golovkin, and he's done amazing work with him. I mean, continues to do amazing work with him. Very consistent in the gym with him, and obviously the fighters that are below him. But what do you think of that? You think?
Honestly, I think he's one of the top contenders when it comes to trainer of the year. I think also Virgil Hunter should be somewhat of a candidate to the work that he did with Andre Ward on the Kovalev fight, but I don't think that just one fight will give it to him. But yeah, I think Abel is one of the top contenders when it comes to like a trainer of the year award. He got the way he set up his camp is pretty particular that I like, where everybody they work together as a team. The best guy leads the team, and mostly when it comes to his team, I think Gennady, when he's in camp, he always leading the team. And for me, Triple G is like Mayweather, hard work, and you can see it. Like I always enjoy watching his training and how he puts all that hard work in the gym. So yeah.
And for me, fighter of the year, I mean, my personal opinion, obviously other circles would be different, but I believe fighter of the year should go to Terrence Crawford. As far as this year, he was able to get a significant win over the number 2 guy for the WBC title over Victor Posto, TKO John Molina, which is hard to do, and then obviously TKO Frank Lundy, and he's looked good in a lot of his fights. I think he's this year was his coming out party, and next year, I think we're just gonna get bigger and better fights from him. Unfortunately, he isn't jail at this moment or got arrested recently or over.
He's still not in jail. They gave him
on bail.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty much, we'll get to see more from him. What do you think? Think he's fighter of the year?
Yeah, I mean he's top contender. Like I'll put him there with Carl Frampton, who got impressive win over Leo Santa Cruz, and also a win of Scott Quigg. And another guy that I'll put there will be Terrence Crawford, without a doubt. And I'll say Lomachenko. Lomachenko should be contender for
made him quit.
For fighter of the year, in my opinion. I'll say those 3. And if I would have to pick one, I'll be a little bit biased, but I'll probably pick Carl Frampton.
Okay. And what do you think the biggest upset of the year is?
Oh man, we got a lot of upset. I mean,
I think the Joe Smith.
Yeah, that's definitely one of them.
The Fonfara and the Hopkins, but I mean the Hopkins was.
Yeah, but
I think the way it happened. Yeah.
I think the Fonfara was the because like for instance the odds were for Fonfara, I think it was 10-1, but for actually B-Hop, it was actually 3-1, so it's not that much of a gap.
Difference.
Yeah, of a difference. So I think that the Fonfara was the upset of the year in my book. Mm-hmm. But there's some others that probably right now I can't remember, but yeah.
I don't know. For me, fight of the year, I'm gonna have to say is gonna be the Orlando Salido fight. As far as
for me, I'll pick 3, and it'll be the Vargas Salido, the Thurman Sean Porter fight, and
I totally forgot about that one. And he had the Guerrero fight was a really good fight.
Yeah, that was a good fight, and the Frampton Santa Cruz fight. Those 3 are you could put depending on how you like fights to be.
Mm-hmm.
You could say that, for instance, if you like a real high speed technical fight, you will pick Santa Cruz versus Cal Frampton. If you like those brawlers type of fight, toe to toe fight will be Vargas versus Alito. And if you like some boxing, really good boxing, it will be probably Thurman Porter. I mean,
yeah, Thurman Porter. That was depending on what you like stylistically, you could have gave the fight to Porter as well. But
yeah, it's just those kind of fights. And for me, all those 3 fights, they got action. There was no really like big knockouts in those fights, so they all were toe-to-toe fights. So I mean, I probably picked Frampton versus Santa Cruz. There was a lot of punch thrown in that fight.
Yeah, overall, 2016 has been a good year for boxing. A lot of changes happening, as far as with Showtime and PBC and HBO as well. Even Bob Arum working with HBO. So I expect 2017 to be another great year. Hopefully, it's not a major letdown or anything like years past. But for now, what we don't want to give it away, but we got a surprise coming up for next year we want to discuss, but I can't give you too much details on it until we actually get closer.
Definitely. And talking about that, what was the event of the year in your for 2016?
For me, event of the year as far as fight of the year.
Fight event basically.
Just one that stuck out with me in particular. I thought I wanted it to be more of it, but I can't really think as far as one event that really stuck out to me as far as event of the year that I was really excited about was a Triple G and the Kelberg fight. That's like one thing that I was like, wow, I just wanted to see how it looked differently, but obviously I didn't think he stood a chance, but it's just something that was the event that I was most excited about this year.
That's true. For me, and maybe because it just happened recently. I think the December 10 event of all those fights coming, and I remember sitting on my computer like at 12 watching the UK fights, and I went all the way to like 12 hours of fights, bro. I just sat on my computer and just started watching boxing the whole day, man. I took a couple of beers and just I didn't even posted anything on Instagram or anything about mostly all that day because I would just focus on the fights and drinking and just chilling, man. It was a real great day for boxing that day. Yeah. I mean, in general.
I think hopefully we could have more days like that. Like I said, one thing that was also mentioned, and I think I'm just gonna ask you, but I think you're gonna agree with me based on the things that have been done this year. Who do you think would get Promoter of the Year?
Oh man, me personally, I think Bob Arum probably would get Promoter. I don't know.
I think Eddie Hearn with Matchroom. I mean, the fights that he's done, he's been able to put together the.
If you want to involve the UK promoter as well, I think Eddie Hearn
he's done a lot of good things this year.
Way
got the Anthony Joshua with the Klitschko lined up.
He's way ahead of his time when it comes to promoting. This guy, he doesn't protect his fighters as much.
Got Luis Ortiz under his belt.
Yeah, people criticize him saying that he protects Anthony Joshua. I think if he would have protected Anthony Joshua, he would have never set him up with Klitschko. So I think that he gives the fighter. He got that MMA kind of UFC kind of feeling.
Dana White.
Yeah, where he set up the best fights. And the thing is that if we would have as much good fight as we have here, he would probably done a way better job. But UK, I'm not saying anything about UK's fight. I love them, but I think they're a step behind us when it comes to boxing.
Well, I think it's style. I think the reason is because they're more isolated. Most fighters, if they have aspirations of making it to the main stage, they're going to come to the United States, and usually fighters. Not to say, I think that there's the market or the variety. There's a bigger variety in the United States as far as fighters. It's more of a place where it's a more competitive arena. To where in the UK they do have great fighters, but as far as what their opposition could be, it's probably a little more limited. Being that it's obviously in the UK, and as far as to get fighters over there, the situation is a lot better here in the United States.
I mean, they do make the way better events. Like,
no, yeah, events. Yeah.
If you see, any
But
fights,
by me, like level of opposition,
yeah, opposition.
there's probably more opposition here in
Definitely,
the United States because, like I said, there's a lot more. There are different kind of fighters here and everything, so it's a lot easier to make. But as far as that, I mean, we just want to let you folks know ahead of time. Just today's episode, like I said, is a light one. It's not going to be a long episode at all. It's just one to just chat with you guys and see how everything was going. Wishing you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm hungover myself. I mean, I don't know how I'm sitting here and talking to you guys because I got super wasted last night. It was really bad. I mean, I was leaning back for sure. I was still on my legs. I didn't lose my legs under me, but it was fun, man. Spend it with family. Everything was good, but that's probably why I sound a little more monotone. I don't have that energy that I should have, but yeah, no, I think. I'm just glad that, we're going to keep pushing through as far as Boxing Rampage. This is only episode 7, and we hope to, bring it one day. We'll bring it past 100. Just get better at this. I'm not a professional doing this. This is something, I just started. Pretty much it was Flacco's idea. So hopefully, I can get better and, the support grows. And like I said, if you guys feel there's something you want to see from us or anything in particular, just let us know. So.
Definitely, man. But let's get to the phone. I got John. Let's see what John thinks about the fight of the year.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How was your Christmas?
Well, I got JC intoxicated, so it was good. It was good, bro.
That's awesome. Good to hear.
Definitely, man. But without any other further ado, what was the fight of the year in your opinion, man?
So for fight of the year, it's kind of hard to choose between the Santa Cruz Frampton and the Thurman Porter fight, but I'm just going to lean toward the Porter Thurman fight just because at any given moment you didn't know who was about to get knocked the fuck out. Because I was on the phone with some of my coworkers that were casual fans, and we were just so amped and so excited. We're like, who's going to get knocked out? Someone's going to get knocked the fuck out. And we didn't know who it was because when Porter landed a good shot, Thurman landed one right after that. And when it looked like Thurman was about to give up, he caught a second wind and he did really well in the second half of the fight, which won him that fight. So, I'm going to choose that fight as my fight of the year. It was between two highly skilled guys, and it was so close, so competitive. I really wish more fights were like that, where the two top guys in the division fight each other.
Definitely, and that's a great fight, man, and I really want to see it again. I mean, I know Thurman got Garcia coming up, but after that, I mean, if Porter gets like a good fight, I don't know, like a good name under his belt, maybe Jerry, even a Timothy Bradley. If that fight could happen, that would be a great fight, a real high speed type of fight, man. But he needs a good win in order to make that rematch interesting again. And if Thurman gets through Garcia, that will be a good fight, man. But talking about that, who's your fighter of the year for 2016?
So for fighter of the year, I'm going to actually choose Joe Smith. He was in two fights that he was actually favored to lose in. And the Fonfara fight was, it was a very surprising knockout. And the B-Hop fight, I did pick Joe Smith last week to win. I never pick against Bernard Hopkins, but I just felt that it was father time for him. And I felt that Joe Smith really, he dug deep and, you could tell he definitely was frustrated in that fight, especially towards the end of the fight. But he landed that punch. He was consistent with his effort, and it paid off.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that you're right. But I feel that the fact that it was like a one-punch knockout or a one-punch that created a knockout versus Fonfara, people could say is a lucky punch, and the fact that B-Hop was already, like you said, over his age, that tainted a little bit his success. I also agree with you. I think he's a guy that is gonna probably give us a lot of good fights in 2017. But I don't disagree with you. I mean, in a perfect world, he should have been the fighter of the year. But you know how boxing fans are, and I think that those little things will take away all that superstardom that he gained in 2016. But definitely, yeah, man. Talking about that, do you have like a prospect of the year that you think that should give like an award?
It's kind of weird. I don't really have a big repertoire of knowledge when it comes to the prospects. Someone that does come to mind, although he didn't have a great year, is Jared Hurd. Ever since he beat Frank Galarza last year, I felt like he definitely is the goods. He's in a stacked division, so he really needs to step it up next year. Hopefully get into in a fight with a top 10 contender and put him in that contention status to get a belt.
Definitely, and that win that he had over Oscar Molina, man, it broke my heart because I'm a Molina fan, Oscar Molina fan, him and his brother. But and I did believe that fight should have continued to the end, even though he should have gotten the decision regardless. But yeah, I think the guy he's super hot right now. He got like 5 KOs in his last fight, so he's super hot. And talking about KOs, who you think was the KO of the year? I know JC and I didn't touch this, but which one you think was the KO of the year?
As much as I don't like Canelo, I felt that the Amir Khan knockout was the most dramatic knockout of the year, as far as 2 highly skilled guys getting in the ring. They're from completely different weight classes, but I felt that it was a good knockout.
Yeah, man, for sure. But honestly, I'll have to disagree with you. And you said it yourself, man. I think the fact that Khan was from a different weight class, and me personally, I was expecting the KO because Khan was KO at 135 and at 140 by Danny Garcia, guys that are not even close to Canelo. So, we already know that Khan had that chin issue, and I think that took away from like the KO itself. So, for me personally, and I know JC and I didn't talk about KO of the year, but for me personally, I think the KO of the year, until last weekend, it was in the Indigo KO, but not Hassan Dam, man. KO Blanco with a hellacious punch, and it was like those kind of punches that comes like with a delayed reaction, and then you see the guy just falling head first to the canvas. And I don't know if you remember the Marquez Pacquiao KO, where when like you saw Pacquiao going down and you there thinking that Pacquiao's gonna get up, but then you see him laying down for a second and you're like, oh no, it's over. That was the same feeling, and Blanco just to make it more like exhilarating, he just started shaking like with a kind of compulsion kind of feeling, and just shaking his leg, and it was ugly, dude. Like, guys like us that like KOs like that, I think that took it for a KO of the year. And there was also some other good KOs, like the Charlos versus William, that KO itself. Like when you see Williams like throwing that shot and getting clipped at the same time, you see his body like moving from one side to another, and then just falling on his knees and then down. It was a great KO, but that KO itself didn't finish him. He got back up, so that took away from the KO. But this KO with Hassan Ben Dam and Blanco, man, you got to check it out, man. This is, for me, definitely the KO of the year. But thanks again for calling, bro, for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. I wish that you and your family have a happy New Year's, bro. I'll see you again for the next show. And let's move on with Brian. Brian, man, how you doing, brother? And let's talk about some of the topics that we've been talking about today. And JC and I touch about topics of Fight of the Year, Trainer of the Year, Knockout of the Year, etc., etc. In your opinion, who's the Trainer of the Year?
How's it going, Boxing Rampage? What's up, guys? How's the fans? What's up to all our fans out there? I just want to say, for me, the Trainer of the Year goes to Robert Garcia. I gave him Trainer of the Year because, for one, is well deserved. I mean, he's just amazing. He's just a great trainer. He just he changes people. He makes them better. And for making Abner Mars pretty much coming back and getting that big W that we all thought he was going to lose against Cuellar, I think that just kind of solidified him being Trainer of the Year. Abel Sanchez, I mean, he's great. He got Triple G. He's got a couple other guys with him. But for me, I think really we should give the award to Robert Garcia. I think it's well deserved.
Definitely. I don't think nobody could actually disagree with that, man. I mean, Garcia's been a great trainer, and I think that the person who put him up there was Maidana, man. He did a great job with Maidana and turned him around. A guy that was about to give up his career and make him a champion again, and got him 2 paydays with Mayweather. I mean, what else can you ask? But moving on, what was the fight of the year for you, man?
For me, fight of the year goes to Orlando Salido and Francisco Vargas. Those two Mexican guys were going at it. You know, Mexican guys got a lot of pride. Neither one wants to quit. One hits one, the other one hits harder. It's just those guys. I just love watching that all-out war like that. And as boxing fans, you know, it's like you can't ask for a better present than that. You know, when you get a fight like that, it's amazing. So definitely for me, that was fight of the year. So yeah.
Yeah, and that was a really good fight. So who you gonna have for fight of the year?
For fight of the year, everybody wants to say Terence Crawford or even himself because of the guys that he fought. But for me, I think the one that really stood out for me was high tech Vasily Lomachenko. Just the way that he made Nicholas Walters quit and say no mas. I think that right there was just like Walters was a badass dude. He fought against Donaire, he knocked him out. You know, he's undefeated. He's the Axeman, and Lomachenko wasn't afraid. He went in there, boxed him beautifully, gave him a boxing show, frustrated the shit out of Walters, and even made him quit. And he's got the goods. Some people are putting him pound for pound number one, past Chocolatito and all of them. So I think Vasily Lomachenko, he deserves to be fighter of the year this year.
But didn't Crawford did the same to Postal and frustrate him and you know and box beautiful? In my opinion, Crawford did so. But I'm not gonna put a lot of pressure on you. Let's move on with the topic. Who is the knockout of the year, in your opinion, bro?
For knockout of the year, I don't like Cinnamon. I do not like Canelo. Quite frankly, I don't like him because he's always stuck in Triple G. That's just my personal opinion. It could be for promotion reasons or whatever it could be because if it's Oscar in his ear telling him not to take that fight yet or whatever. But I don't. He's just been fighting guys that he just muscles through and he just rehydrates just way too much, like 25 pounds. It's just not fair, you know. So for me, that's just not it's not a fair thing in the sport of boxing, you know, to rehydrate yourself like that, like 25 pounds every single time. So and now he's not even weighing himself in the HBO. But with that being said, his knockout against Amir Khan, it was just a clear knockout. He knocked the shit out of that guy. Khan, for me, he always had a glass chin, but it was, I guess you could say, knockout of the year. So I guess he gets the award of knockout of the year.
And like I already told John, go back and watch that Hassan Dam knockout, man. I think you would change your opinion. I don't think that fight was televised. I don't remember where I saw it. Probably YouTube or Cody Box. I don't even remember. But go back and watch this, man. I think that you got your opinion will change on knockout of the year. And like I said before, that knockout took some steam away due to the fact that Khan was a smaller weight. But moving on, and we really want to keep this show under 30 minutes. I got one last question. Is a topic that I haven't touched with the guys before. Is who is the comeback of the year for you? What fighters made the comeback of the year? And I think I know who you're gonna say.
For me, comeback fighter of the year would be Abner Mars because quite frankly, I counted him out. I didn't think he had anything left in him. I thought his time was already done. He was past his prime already. He lost against Santa Cruz. He got knocked out against, if I'm not mistaken, for Johnny Gonzalez. And he's just kind of never been the same. I love the kid, young kid. You know, I wish him the best. But I wasn't rooting for him, and he actually won against Cuellar. So now I give him comeback fighter of the year.
Definitely, man, and well deserved. This kid, I mean, I thought so too, man. I think the whole eye thing and being KO'd by Gonzalez, like you said, it was actually in the second round, and I thought he was done, man. But he proved that he still got it in him, and like you said before, the connection with Robert Garcia, man. I think that's a great team. You know, having Mikey also on the camp there with him, and they probably sparring and all that. I think he's gonna give us at least 5 more years, man, and that's completely great. Thanks again, Brian, for being part of the show, for calling, for taking the time. And let's move on. JC, what's up? I'll put you back on cue, man. All right, man. So what else you got, brother?
I don't think I got much, man. Just I think this was a good year for boxing, man.
Any boxing
Oh,
rumors?
actually, as far as news, I guess recently Paul Spadafora got arrested and is still in jail as we speak.
What a
'cause I
waste
guess
of
he can't-
talent, man. This guy, man, I was a fan, man. And maybe because he was from PA and whatever. And, you know, we New Yorkers, basically. But I always had, and also because of the whole thing that happened with Mayweather when they actually fought. It was a sparring section, but it was more of a sparring section because they had a bet. I remember Mayweather team versus Paul's team. They had a bet to see who would get the best work, basically, and Paul won that bet, basically. And there was a lot of rumors of a fight happening between Mayweather and Paul, but you know, Paul got arrested. He took the wrong route. Yeah, he took the wrong route, and it didn't work out. And yeah, his career went down the drain. The last time I saw him was on the corner of Lightning Rod Soccer, man. But
when he fought the Giant Garcia.
And yeah, I haven't seen him much. And he got when you talk about waste of talent, man. This guy really talented. He just
Yeah, no. Apparently, what happened was that he basically allegedly stabbed his brother, and I guess he got into a fight with police, and they had to tase him or use a stun gun on him, and then put a spit mask over him. So yeah, like I said, sometimes you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have that not discipline. I wouldn't say he doesn't have the discipline. Just sometimes you gotta distance yourselves from problems, because and sometimes problems find you in life. But you gotta have the resolve in life to not let it affect your life. Because in a situation like that, like now you're in jail, now you're spending the holidays behind bars, and that's not fun. Nobody wants to go to jail. So pretty much, yeah. With him, He's a guy, like Flacco was saying, could have been something great if he would have had the discipline. Not to say he's not, but as far as mainstream boxing, something else, what could have been, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely, man. Another rumor is that Chavez Jr. got 6 days to take the Canelo fight. If you don't take it, they're gonna move on with Belicio Saunders. His offer is 106. I mean, his offer is $6 million at 165. And there's actually a catch. I mean, hydration clause that we don't know. I don't know if it's 10 pounds hydration clause, or I don't know. But I think he should take the fight, or he could just play it smart and try to get a little bit more money from Triple G. Maybe he could contact her. Listen, these guys are offering me $6 million. I'll take 8 from you guys, and I know without hydration clause, because Triple G is more natural, 160 pounds, and he could go to 168, and that's another 3 pounds that he could have to his advantage, and a little bit more money. And I think K2 will give him the money. It will be a great event. Maybe in sometimes during the summer, because if Triple G fight in March 18, he could fight again. Maybe in July, mid-year, and then probably still fight Canelo September or probably December. So who knows? They could
work it out.
They could work it out. So I mean, either or who he fights, it will be a great event. But I mean, I don't want to get past Jacobs, but I don't really.
That's gonna be a great fight, man.
I don't really think, in my opinion, I do I do respect Jacob, and he's really talented and all that, but I think that Triple H is going to be too much for him.
Let's see, man. I mean, he's the most complete fighter up to date that will have fought. So we'll see how.
It's like always Mayweather, and when Mayweather was active, I was not a fan of him. Not because it was because his style. Basically, I was more of a fan of Money Mayweather. I mean, Pretty Boy Mayweather when he was younger. Yeah, and he was
fast,
actually faster and finishing his guys. But once he got all those hand injuries and he got more defensive. He got kind of a bit more boring. He didn't want to exchange much, and he got really defensive. Then But this guy, he had always said it. The kind of work you put in the gym, it will pay off in the ring. And yeah, Triple G does put a lot of hard work. If you ever have a chance, there's a lot of videos on YouTube of him training, and this guy's on another level.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Well,
Anything else you got?
Nah, like I said, this is going to be a short episode. We just wanted to wrap up for 2016. Guys, like I said, there's more to come from us, a lot more things. We're just making little changes, getting better and better as we go. Yeah, just shout out to all the fans and, you know, all the boxing community. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening, being part of the show, for supporting. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Email us at boxingrampage1@gmail.com. And follow us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and any other whatever other media is out there.
All right.
Well, YouTube also. So thank you guys, and have a good night.
All right.
Thank you. Rest in peace, George Michael. We'll never dance again, huh? Rest in peace.